Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our April 2021 customer webinar. I'm Aaron Gillette, Marketing Director at TownNews. Today, Susan Bell, who manages our mobile and video apps, will highlight new and exciting updates for the BLOX Now mobile app. She'll share new ways to drive engagement with your live streams, a completely revamped in-app weather experience, and much, much more. If you have a question, please feel free to enter it in the Q&A box at any time. Take it away, Susan.
All right, thanks so much, Aaron, and welcome everybody. Excited to go over a few things today in anticipation of our next version release that will happen next week. So we're going to go over live stream enhancements, our alert banner overhaul, some exciting things we've done with weather, some design changes, IDFA, e-edition access control updates, and GA4. At the conclusion of kind of the webinar part of this, I'm going to do a quick demo just to make sure everybody can find everything in the page customizations, and then we'll do a Q&A session. So let's get started. So we are excited to announce a new feature that highlights your live stream. We are working really hard to make sure that we are launching things that promote customer engagement, user engagement. So this is a new player in the topic feed. This allows you to highlight a native live stream with a thumbnail and then a video player. This takes the place of an alert banner. If you don't have this launched, your regular alert banner will still show up the whole time. And if you do launch it, you can see up here from the screenshot that you have your alert banner, and then it has a video player deployed underneath. This is an optional setup, and I'll show you where that is in a few minutes. But also, as well as being able to have this video player here, we wanted to make sure that you could monetize that opportunity. So there is pre-roll attached if you do have a native video stream there as well. It launches from just the Google Ad Manager video ad unit that has always been in our page customizations panel, and we'll go over that. I just wanted to highlight that this is for native live streams. You can use the banner for pages, just a page URL where your live stream or video sits on a WebKit view. The video player won't work for that. So this is specifically geared towards you using that native, that raw URL. And then if you have any questions about that, we can talk about it here in a few minutes.
Hey, Susan.
Yes.
A quick question did come in. Can this video player be set up to auto roll?
No, so it doesn't auto roll. That's a great question. So I appreciate you bringing that up. So it doesn't auto roll. It is indicated with a play button here that you do have to click on. So it doesn't start automatically. So moving on, we have kind of done a alert banner overhaul for our live streaming area. It was previously labeled alert banner in the page customizations, and now it is, we relabeled that banner live stream banner. Everybody is using it for live streaming purposes, so we just wanted that to be clear in the setup. So, and some additions that we've done in here is in the past, we've toggled between inactive and an active state for your live stream if you had a schedule attached to it. So in the screenshot here, you can see where there's an opportunity for you to provide a schedule URL. Typically that's provided by field 59. And then you can have a URL for your live stream. If you have both of those launched at the same time, it was toggling in between active and inactive messages. So what we've done is you can still have your schedule and you can still have your URL for your live stream, but it's going to toggle between active and disappear. So it'll either be there or it won't, according to the schedule. And if you don't have a schedule provided, then your live stream remains active all the time. So one important note that I wanted to bring up during this webinar is to make sure that in your page customizations that you're pulling the messaging and the color customizations from these main units here. We have kept the inactive messaging here, and that's for migration purposes, so your apps continue to work and they don't break. But this will be removed probably in the next template release that we do. So, but it's there for now, but the messaging is going to pull from the main active area here. But those are the changes that we have made. You can also see in here from this screenshot here, from what we were previously talking about, the video player and the video player thumbnail. This has been added. This is already in your page customization and has been for a couple of weeks. When we do this rollout Monday, those will be enabled to function. So this is an exciting change. The Customize Your Weather has been updated to include some new native weather experiences for our end user. In order to utilize this, the weather settings display and the weather icon display and page customizations have to be turned on. And again, I'll show that to you in a minute just to make sure that we understand where that is. But previously or currently in your live applications, Customize Your Weather is simply a native weather card that you can utilize if you wish, that a user can click on. If they click on this, it takes them to a settings panel where they're able to enter in a zip code of their choosing so that the weather data they're getting on all of their weather cards are that customized experience that they desire. We've extended this experience to create a weather list page. You'll notice on all of your native cards after this next update that you're going to see a location button here. And this is on all the cards. When you hit this location button or you hit Customize Your Weather in your settings panel, you're going to go to a weather list page. And this is really an interactive page that does several things. One, it allows users to create multiple locations of weather of interest to them. So you can simply enter in a zip code and it makes this active. This would be the active weather data on all of your native weather cards. If you enter in a new zip code, this active zip code will move down to your list, and then whatever new zip code that you enter will be your active list, and that will override those zip codes. At any time, the user can go back to this list page, and if they have 7 areas, 7 zip codes here that they have previously visited, they can toggle those on at any time and they become the active pages. There's also a show the weather around me function, and this is where a user can click and allow for permissions for us to follow their device so that the weather data that is on the cards is where their device is located. When you hit current location, it's going to create a card just like you see up here from wherever your device is located, and that will overwrite all the weather data in the cards. So this is a really nice feature. We think that the users will enjoy it. And again, it does impact all of your native weather cards, your hourly card, 7-day forecast, current weather, Customize Your Weather, and severe weather. So user engagement is key to the success of all of our products. So we've really taken a long look at the app and looked at features that, just from data, looking at data, features that weren't being utilized. On the cards in the topic feed for your editorial assets, there is a save and a share now in your apps, but you have to swipe the card left or right in order to see it. So what data showed is that we users weren't finding that. So what we did is we revamped the cards, and you're going to find the save and share button on the front of each of your cards. So this will encourage users to share and save their favorite stories and engage with this feature here. You're not going to find it on all card types. The horizontal sliders won't include this on there, but any standalone card, the mega card, the feature card, extended details, those cards all have this customization here. So any card that had the swiping ability for the save and the share will have this update on there. So one thing, we have really been working hard over the past couple months. I'm pretty sure everybody's heard of IDFA. And just to explain briefly what that is, IDFA is the Identifiers for Advertisers that is passed in the app, and that's how we are able to serve targeted ad campaigns. Apple, actually last year, Apple wanted to up the privacy and give users the option basically to pass that IDFA or not. So they delayed that for a while, but they've decided to roll that out. It will roll out next week. There was no benefit in rolling this out early. We were waiting to the last possible moment so that you didn't see any impacts on your ad campaigns. But basically all this means is that we are going to present a option for your users in the app, and they will have an option to track and not to track. We do have a message right before the selector that just encourages them to sign up with just a more positive language. But this also, not only allows us to pass that IDFA, but it also allows us to offer personalized content. So you'll see this in there. We think that the new app greeting, this is mainly just about compliance. We have kind of made a documentation for questions and answers on IDFA. You can see that link here, and you'll get a copy of this presentation with all the links in it. But please visit that. I think we've done a good job of getting the most commonly asked questions and what you can look forward to. A lot of the impacts of IDFA are wait and see. But your apps are ready for you to be in compliance with what Apple is asking for. So we have also done a GA for Google Analytics overhaul in this app. So what that means is we changed the GA for last October. So we have two sets of analytics that we pass to our customers. One, if you're a Google 360 customers, we pass analytics to you using a UAID. That's kind of the legacy Google method. Last year, if you have a business account, Google started providing analytics from Firebase. And GA4 is basically the dashboard in your Google Analytics account. So they kind of went through some beta stages of the analytics, and they settled enough to where we can go in and define things for you. So again, there's documentation on all the changes that you made. I think your analytics team will be interested in going. I put all the parameters in there for you so that you can see what events are being passed and what we defined. But basically, we were passing the defaults from Firebase to GA4. We've just gone in there and overhauled that for you in hopes that that'll be more purposeful data for you, for your screen views and your events. And this is going to be the first set of improvements. So we have a series of improvements that we're going to offer you in 2021 for Google Analytics. I know I've met with a lot of customers that weren't happy with what was there. So we are listening to you, and we are trying to make that experience better for you so that you can measure audience behavior on your app, and you can have a better idea of what's going on there. So we made some changes too, and there's a lot of compliance things in the app for this rollout. So the e-edition, which is always a hot topic of conversation in the apps, for the last couple of years, we've just offered the e-edition as an external link. We forced that e-edition to open up to a browser. We were doing that because of the functionality of the e-edition, being able to rotate it, it being able to function correctly in the app. Because we're forcing it to an external browser, it does show us a subscription page right now, which is not compliant with Apple. So what we've done in this release is we've pulled that e-edition back in a WebKit page for you so it stays in the app. And by doing that, we're able to bypass the subscription page so that we can compliantly show your e-edition in the app. In addition, if you have your paywall enabled on your site and you have your paywall enabled in the app, those are optional choices. But if you do, then just like on an article, when they hit a paywall, they're presented the login screen. Same thing for the e-edition. When they click on the e-edition, they'll be presented with a login screen. If you do have a web subscription, then the paywall will be lifted and they'll be able to view that e-edition. If you don't have your paywall in the app, the e-edition will continue to be offered for free. So that is what we've done for compliance purposes. It also will keep us from having to drop those links and add them back, which has been an area of, a challenge to get, apps submitted in the stores. So we're excited about this change. And we have, this will be a good foundation piece as we look into the future for in-app purchasing, which will, come in a couple of months. The good thing about the login updates that we've done is we've added the ability to use access control metering, which we have not done before. So the app is now aware, if you have your paywall turned on, of that smart metering that access control offers if you're an access control customer. So those are exciting changes, but it will impact your e-editions and where they are. So you don't have to do anything for this update to happen for your e-edition. If it's in your more links or if it's in the topic section, it will all impact it the same way. All right, so I am going to actually jump out of the webinar and jump into BLOX. All right, so we are going to just look very briefly at the live stream section over here. So when you open your Now app and you get your Now app admin panel, if you go into the live stream area, just wanted to highlight the new additions. You'll see your video player that you can enable or disable. And if you do want to use your video player for your live stream, you will need to upload a thumbnail for that. And you can upload your thumbnail here. And again, we talked about using the main areas for your customization for your messaging. Just make sure that this is where we're pulling your messages from. A lot of people have the inactive set up right now. And again, it's fine at the current moment, but we'll need to transition over to this up here. So also we talked about the video player needing a native live stream. So you can still use the video banner or the live stream banner with a page URL and just link to the page. But if you want to use the video banner, the native live stream is really easy to know if you're using or not. It ends with the M3U8. That'll be the URL extension there. That means that live stream is native. And again, the schedule up here for the live stream banner is optional to turn that on or off.
Susan, we did have a question come in about native, and I think you just answered it, but just to reiterate, by native, do you mean it has to be coming from field 59, or will a video asset pulling from an M3U8 feed work?
So this is where we actually put the raw M3U8 in there, and that's the live stream provided by your live stream video provider. That may be field 59, it may be another vendor. So this asset is not actually being pulled from BLOX from a search query rule. It's actually, we're putting in the raw live feed there. And again, that extension will be that M3U8 extension, and that's how you know it's native.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hopefully I answered that question. So the other thing for this right here, I just wanted to go over the advertising. So there's no new additions in advertising, but that native live stream, if you want to do pre-roll, it is going to work off of this GAM video ad unit here. So this previously works for your multimedia card. Again, native video that's on there, native video and audio. This will also deploy a pre-roll for your live stream now as well. So I just wanted to point that out so you knew what was controlling that. And then on the weather changes that we discussed for the customize your weather, in order to be sure that you can use the customize your weather features, if you're not in your app, just make sure your weather icon is enabled here and that your weather settings display is also enabled. And of course, initially all the weather data is going to come from that default URL that you enter. And then all the cards still click through to your weather URL. All the native cards are going to click through here, and your weather icon is going to click through there as well. All right, so I am going to jump over for questions. Aaron, if we've had any more come in.
Yeah, we do have a handful of questions that have come in. And if you have a question right now, please feel free to type it into the Q&A box. What does IDFA stand for again?
IDFA stands for The identifier for advertisers.
Okay, thank you.
I-
There can only be one live stream URL, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And then the last question that's come in so far is, do we need to make any changes on our side to take advantage of the new G4 analytics?
No, so, and that's a really great question. I'm glad you brought that up. So when we roll out this release, the changes will be reflected in your GA accounts immediately. Usually takes about 24 hours for that data to start rolling in. But those defined data points that we discussed will be an automatic update in your GA4 account.
Okay, thank you. And just to reiterate, when will the features that we've discussed here be available?
So we're going to start our rollout Monday, Tuesday next week. It usually takes us about a week and a half to get everybody's apps updated. So just a reminder, it's quicker if we update your apps, if you can make sure that we have your Google service file for your Android apps. If you have any questions about what those are, let me know. And I'll send you instructions for those, or I can actually send instructions out with the webinar today. But we're going to start that rollout next week. We anticipate Apple's change is going to be announced on Tuesday and rolled out later that week. Nothing happens to your app if Apple this 14.5 software hits your Apple devices before the app is updated. Apple's compliance is that during the next update that we have all the compliance in there, and we do. So we're going to be good.
Fantastic. It looks like that is it for the questions that have come in so far. If you want to advance to the final slide. Thank you very much to everyone who joined us. If you do not have the BLOX Now app, please feel free to contact your sales rep, and they can assist you with getting signed up for the BLOX Now app. If you have any questions about documentation, the help site is a great place to refer to. Go to help.townnews.com. Support is always available at 800-293-9576 or support.townnews.com. Our customer community is a great place to swap ideas with other Town News customers, and that's available at community.townnews.com. And you can monitor the status of our systems at townnews.status.io. Of course, you can always follow us on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. And we offer a variety of newsletters that you can sign up for by visiting Town News, clicking the news link, and there's a sidebar on the right-hand side where you can sign up for our available newsletters. Thank you very much, Susan, for giving us this rundown of the new features for BLOX Now. It looks absolutely awesome. So we look forward to seeing everyone again next month. Talk to you later. Thank you.